So the next thing that we'll be doing is we'll try to find out what an identity element is. So if we scroll back up, we can see that A star E equals E star A is essentially boiling down to the commutative law that we had discussed. So essentially we can already say that the identity element can only exist if the operation follows the commutative law defined on the set of operations that it considers. So if A star E equals E star A. So let's say we have a particular element E. So we need to find out that well-defined singular unique element for the particular binary operation and the set on which the binary operation is defined. If for any other element, the operation on essentially when I'm connecting these two elements, that is the identity element, the particular unique identity element, and any operation, any other element of the set, and if the result is the element itself, so if this operation returns this particular element that I started with, not the identity element, but the element other than the identity element, then that particular unique element is said to be an identity element. So there are a lot of elements being said, and the easiest way. So let's take the additive operation, falling back to whatever we have discussed before, and the set of positive integers. So what we essentially need to find out is A plus some particular element, we don't know the element yet, we need to find out the identity element, should be equal to that same particular unique element. Of course, it belongs to the set of positive integers because we can only operate on the set of essentially the set on which the binary operation is defined on. Here it's the positive integers. So of course this identity element needs to be a positive integer. So A plus a particular unique element equals that same particular unique element plus A, and the most important part is this operation should result in A. Can we put 0 in the bracket inside? Yes, we can. So A plus 0 equals 0 plus A equals A. So essentially this 0 is essentially the identity element for additive operation on the set of positive integers. You can try the same and you will find out that 1 is the identity element for multiplication on the set of positive integers. So any element multiplied by 1 is the same as 1 multiplied with any other element essentially, and it will return me the other element that I started with. So this is what I call as identity element. The next that we talk about is the inverse of an element. So we have an identity element and we have an inverse of every element. Please note that for a defined operation on a set, we have one particular unique element. So let me just write that down here so that you will remember it. Unique. So identity element is unique for every operation defined on a particular set on which the binary operation is defined. On the other hand, inverse exists for every element, which is why I have said inverse of an element P. So you have if you do, you are meant to have an inverse for every element of that set. So what I mean is, if P operated on a particular element, this is not unique. So essentially this is unique for a particular P. So for every P we have an element P inverse, if we do, that is, because in future sounds we will find out that it's not always true that every element has an inverse, or the set might not have any inverse. So based on the situation we look further into it. But let's say P has an inverse called P inverse. Don't take that take this as 1 by P or anything as such. This is just a notation. You can call it any other, I don't know, P dashed. You can call it any other element or any other, you can give it any other symbol you want. I've just taken it as P inverse because that's what we call inverse, right? So essentially, if we operate P on the inverse of that element, or if we operate the inverse of that element with P, it returns me the identity element. Again, let's take an example. So we have positive, and this time I'll tell you why I'm not taking the set of positive integers, but I'll take the set of integers, because essentially elements do not have inverse on the set of positive integers. I'll tell you why. So let's say we have a particular element P plus we need to add a particular element, and it should be such that that element plus P should also be the same, and that should be essentially what you can do is you can sorry, let me just, you can check that 0 is also the identity element for the set of integers, not just the set of positive integers, but the set of integers, which essentially is a combination of the set of positive integers, the set of negative integers, and 0. So a plus 0, so of course a is an integer. If a is a positive integer, it's of course an integer. If 0 is essentially an integer, it's not exactly a positive integer as such. But essentially what happens is I have an element, an identity element of addition on the set of positive integers or the set of integers. So what happens is if I place minus P in the bracket, it gives me the identity element 0. So when I add minus P with P, or when I add minus P with P in the reverse direction, I end up with 0, which is the identity element of addition on the set of integers. So this minus P is the inverse of P. Similarly, in case of this won't work as integers. In case of, let's say, real numbers, a P, any element P multiplied by let's say 1 by P will be the same as 1 by P multiplied by P, which will return me 1, which is the identity element of, well, 1 is also the identity element of multiplication on the set of real numbers. So essentially that, as you can see here, not every set has identity elements or inverse elements for their elements in the set on which the binary operation is defined, but that is essentially the concept. So identity element is an element such that when it is operated with a particular element, it returns me the element that I have started with. An inverse of an element is an element such that when I operate a particular element with the inverse of that element, then it returns me the identity element which exists for the binary operation defined on a particular set. So this identity element comes before inverse. So if you don't have an identity element, the question of inverse doesn't arise because it won't return me this identity element. So it depends on the identity element. So that is basically the concept of the very foundation concept of binary operations. So up until now, we have discussed the 3 laws: the commutative law, associative law, distributive law, and we have tried to find out the basic concepts of the 2 elements that might exist in a set on which a binary operation is defined, which is the identity element and the inverse of a particular element.